Hello everyone, this is Puka Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another edition in our Unrated and Underappreciated movie review series, and this edition we will focus on the compelling drama Dead Presidents. Released in October the 6th, 1995, it stars Lawrence Tate, Keith David, Chris Tucker and Bush Wright, and it was directed by Albert and Alan Hughes. It follows the story of Anthony Curtis, who has returned home following serving a tour within Vietnam, and he struggles to integrate his way back into society. He finds out that his girlfriend has had a baby whilst he was away, and she was in a former relationship with a pimp. He also comes across much antagonism by people who are against the Vietnam War. He struggles to find consistent work as he needs to support his girlfriend and the upcoming baby. He's full of frustration as he continues to apply for jobs but he cannot get them. We see him in earlier scenes where he's working in a butchery, but that doesn't last very long either. Anthony also finds himself tormented by nightmares and flashbacks of his time within the Vietnam War. He eventually reaches breaking point and meets up with his former friends within Vietnam and collates a group of associates to rob an armoured truck. Following the fallout, he struggles to hold on to what he has left and trying to find a better future. Now for me, Dead Presidents is a compelling and raw drama that's well directed and shot by the Hughes Brothers, who of course were famous for directing the likes of Menace to Society, which is a compelling drama in itself. And for me, Dead Presidents has similar in tone of very much of its raw energy and its intense storytelling, and it primarily works on two levels. Now the first level is that Dead Presidents plays as an intense PTSD war drama as we see Anthony struggling to find his place after returning from the war effort, and we see where he's suffering from the flashbacks. This is something that's been covered throughout plenty of movies, so if we look at the best examples, we're of course looking at First Blood, of course the first Rambo entry starring Sylvester Stallone, Born on the 4th of July starring Tom Cruise, which I believe is probably still to date his best career performance, directed by Oliver Stone. And then if we can go further back, of course, the very masterful film The Deer Hunter, which stars of course Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken and Meryl Streep. And Dead Presidents, it handles this theme very well. I think there's a very much of a sincerity and a seriousness as it tackles once again the idea that soldiers, they spend all that time supposedly fighting for their country, and when they come back they find themselves out of place and vilified, and it's frustrating because they feel that they were doing a good deed in trying to protect their country and they should be coming back as heroes, but they're really coming back as outcasts. And I like this part of Dead Presidents. It really is the first half and it does very good job, as I said before, in concentrating on these particular themes. Now the second layer is really more of a tense, exciting bank robbery crime thriller, and it really is compelling as we see Anthony reach the point of desperation, and we spend a good time with other characters as they devise their plan and they set up and they're rounding up everybody to contribute towards the robbery. And there's a real sense of tension and suspense as we reach the very well executed bank robbery sequence. It's very well done, very well staged, lots of atmospheric music provided of course by Danny Elfman, so you'd expect nothing less, but it's a very well executed sequence and very exciting to watch. And again, it has more weight to it because we spend a good part of this story learning about these characters, in particular the lead character more than anybody else, and we get an understanding of why they are desperate and willing to turn to a life of crime in order to better themselves. So really it works on very much of a two structure. Like I said before, the first half is an intense PTSD war drama, and then the second is much more of a crime robbery thriller, and it pulls both of these themes off very well. All of the cast performers provide very compelling performances. Lawrence Tate in the lead, I think overall was very solid as Curtis. He really convinces us as someone who's full of rage, and really we feel his desperation and frustration as he wants to better himself. I think Lawrence Tate is a competent actor, maybe a bit typecast. If you look over some of the films throughout his career, he does play a similar type of very abrasive, very angry, angst-ridden type of character, but I think in this movie he pulls off the performance very well. In the supporting role we have Keith David as Kirby, who's more like a mentor to Anthony Curtis, and it's a small role, but he's very much more of somebody who's willing to do whatever is necessary in order to get the funds required from the bank robbery. It's a solid performance from Keith David overall. We also have N. Bush Wright, who I remember especially as the female lead within the first Blade movie, and her character is Delia, and we find out that she's the sister of Anthony's girlfriend, and she's also part of a revolutionary group. They believe in the war effort to an extent, and she's really in it more to make a message overall. And again, she has a small role overall, but I think she still provides well with what she's got. And we also have an even smaller role for Chris Tucker, who is one of Anthony Curtis's friends, Skip, and we learn of course that he has a drug addict, and he's very much of a loud, very unstable, erratic character. And despite it being a small role, I actually like it when I see the likes of Chris Tucker, or Chris Rock, if you remember, was in New Jack City as well. I like the fact that we get these comedians taking on more serious roles, and I think Chris Tucker does okay for what he's done within this particular movie. So overall, Dead Presidents, like I said, is a very strong, very solid, compelling movie. I mentioned before, the Hughes Brothers are very adept in they shoot in this very high energy and vibrant and energetic style. There's a real raw and grittiness towards this movie, and it really shows these characters as they are. There's no sugarcoating here. There's no kind of Hollywood ending or over sentimentality or emotion. It just shows these characters flawed, desperate, and that always helps. That makes the movie really unpredictable, particularly as we go towards the film's climax. So overall, I think this is a very strong gravitas movie full of powerful, compelling performances. So overall, if I had to give a score for Dead Presidents, I would give it an 8.1 out of 10. Now, if we focus on the release of Dead Presidents, on a budget of 10 million, it did manage to gross over 24.1 million at the US box office. Now, you could argue and say, well, at least it made its money back, but it wasn't exactly a major box office hit or a blockbuster at the time of release. And I just think when you're talking about this type of film, it covers very serious themes, again dealing with the Vietnam War effort, and I think by the time we reached 1995, the whole Vietnam War genre had kind of reached exhaustion. It was at its peak, of course, at the 80s. If you look at the likes of Platoon, I already mentioned Born on the 4th of July, of course. You've got Hamburger Hill and Full Metal Jacket as well. So it was really covered mainly within the 80s, and of course you could even go further back with the looks of The Deer Hunter and Apocalypse Now within the 70s. So by the 90s, it wasn't seen, I guess, as much of a relevant genre amongst viewers, and maybe that's why it didn't pull in very much box office when it was released. And also the fact, again, I mentioned this a lot, there's not really any major box office superstar, no big name attraction to really put in the viewers as well, and maybe that was another reason why Dead Presidents didn't make the impact it did at the box office. But I think it's a shame, like I said, because it's very compelling. It's just under 2 hours, but the pace is very lean and very tight. It moves very quickly along, and like I said, it's very compelling with strong performances and another fine directed film from the Hughes Brothers. So those are my thoughts and feelings and review on Dead Presidents, a movie again which I feel deserves more appreciation and recognition after its release. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've seen the film, what do you think about it in terms of its direction, in terms of the powerful messages, in terms of the exciting sequence that we see, in terms of the bank robbery? Were those your favourite aspects of the movie? If you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend you should give it, and once you do give it a watch, let me know in the comments what you think about Dead Presidents. Please also hit those like and subscribe buttons and help me grow more content for you for the future. If you have any other movies that you feel were unrated and appreciated, then let me know in the comments below, and if I've seen it, then I will also provide a review as well. So that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.